And here's what's so amazing about tapping into your imagination to determine what your future looks like. You start interacting with possibility. And when you do that, you stop asking permission from your past to move into the future you want to dream about. That's another hold that the past has over us. We constantly use it, right? Because when we say to ourselves, I've never done that before, we're basically saying, because of my past history, and I don't have permission because of a lack of evidence of me having done this thing, then I can't do this thing in the future because I don't have permission. But if you recognize, no, my future is in my imagination, then if I'm faced with something that I've never done before, that doesn't even occur to me that it influences or interferes me doing something different. If I'm faced with something I've never done before, I'm like, oh, let's get into it. Like, I just know that from my brain, I'll figure it out. I remember when we first moved to Indiana, my sister, it was so interesting. I don't think she saw this coming. She called the car dealership to book an oil change. And I don't know, they gave her some ridiculous amount. And she was like, that's crazy. And then she decided, you know what, I'm going to change my oil on my own. Just like that, right? And she did. She YouTubed it and she changed her oil. There was never a conversation of like, oh, well, I've never changed my oil change before. I've never done my own oil change before, so I have to go spend the money. Which eventually, she spent the money. But just to understand that not using her past history as evidence of what she's capable of in the future. In her brain, she just knew, like, if I've never done it before, I'll just give it a try. I could just try it. I was talking to a woman one time, and she told me that she was trying to invest into herself and join Money Academy. And she told her husband what it was going to do for her, how it was going to help her with her relationship with money, which was going to therefore help her with her business that she was building. And her husband goes, you've never ever, let me try to, hold on. And her husband told her, I don't have the exact words at this moment now, but he said something in the vein of, based on your track record, you don't have the repetition of getting an ROI on your investments. That sentence shut her down, and she never joined Money Academy because she was like, he's right. I've invested in the past before and I've never really made anything of the investment. And do you see how damaging that is? What if not using her past investment as evidence of her being incapable of creating an ROI was not on the table? What if just from zero, starting from zero, I'm doing this and here's what I'm going to get from this? What if that's the conversation she had with herself? She would have a completely different future. This is an invitation for you to pay attention to the sentences you tell yourself about who you are. Which is why I always like to tell you, determine what your desire is first, what you truly desire, before you ask yourself who you are. Because most people, when you ask them who they are, they tell you about their past. But if you know what you truly desire, which you haven't gotten yet, and then the next question is who are you, then you can define yourself by your desire. And that is in the future. You get to define yourself by your future. That is really powerful because then that pulls you towards a version of yourself that has not emerged yet. And that is compelling.